Welcome to episode 19 of the Two Untied podcast. Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 19 of the Two Untied podcast. Today's episode is really exciting, especially for me, because if you remember in my previous podcast, I actually talked about the fact that I was making my basement. What I didn't really tell you is I'm making myself a man cave. So today's podcast is actually a very important podcast, a special podcast, especially for the guys out there. What I'm going to cover in today's podcast are 5 things that a man cave must have. No questions asked. If you don't have these 5 things in your man cave, it's not a man cave. I'm sorry. So let's get right to it. So the first and foremost, it's a Sunday afternoon. You got some buddies coming over, and you guys just want to lay back and chill. And one of the things every guy likes or should like is beer. So the first thing you need to have is a kegerator. You need to have something that dispenses beer, whether it is something that is that you pour from a fountain, so to speak, or you can have some really cool stuff where you have. I actually saw on a show where they had a glass that they put on top of this device, and the beer actually poured from the bottom. And the way that it works is, the device has a magnet attached to it, and there's an actual hole cut out in the glasses. Once you put the glass down, the beer fills from the bottom, and as soon as you lift up, the magnet basically connects to the hole, so it actually fills the hole, and it creates a seal. So essentially what you end up having is a perfect pour, minimal head, and it looks great. So I am actually in talks with the company right now to see if I can get a device that I can purchase for my home. I will put a link in the show note for the device for that. It is really cool. It's kind of pricey. It's about $3,000 for a kit for your home. There's also an ongoing cost as well for glasses, but overall, when you look at it, the investment is sound for me, and it's something that I definitely want to do. And if I actually do go that route and do put that in my basement, I'll be sure to put a YouTube video up or something to show you how that works. The second thing you have to have in your man cave is a sports center, okay? So let me explain what a sports center is. A sports center is something like a pool table, a foosball table, a ping pong table, something along those lines. Now, there are pool tables that you can buy that convert into 3. You can get a pool table that doubles up as a ping pong table as well. You can build your own, and I can put some plans up for pool tables and ping pong tables. They're not very difficult to build. They just take a lot of time. And it's one of those things that you just have to have. So when your buddies come over and you're enjoying that nice glass of beer, you have this the sports center that I like to call, where you guys can just kick back. Whether it's a dartboard, like I said, a pool table, foosball table, ping pong table, it's a must in the man cave. And any man cave that I've been to have had these, and they've provided hours and hours of entertainment for a bunch of drunk guys. So a lot of fun. The third thing that a man cave must have is an entertainment center. So when you think of an entertainment center, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? I'm sure 95% of the guys out there are thinking a big screen TV. And that's exactly what I mean. So you have to have a big screen TV, whether it's an LED, whether it's a projector that you put up. At least, come on, let's be serious, guys. If you want a proper man cave, at least 60 inches at the minimum. I'm trying to get something that's about 100 inches in terms of a screen and then a projector. That's really going to be budget pending, but ultimately that is my goal. I do have a space for a 100-inch projector TV, and that is the goal that I'm going for, so that is a must. The other thing that you have to incorporate in your entertainment center is a surround sound system with maybe built-in speakers in the ceiling or in the walls. And trust me, when it comes to surround sound and providing that theater quality audio, You don't want to compromise on that. What you don't want to do is set up as two little speakers on the corner or buy one of those off-the-market surround sounds. I mean, they work well, but nothing works better than built-in speakers where the sound is directly above your head. When the climax of that movie comes, you hear it. When you want to put on your favorite tunes when you got friends over, you hear the bass, you hear everything is clear. You want to definitely invest in a good surround sound system. And the last thing in your entertainment system, or in your entertainment center, is you need to have some video games. I mean, what guy doesn't like to kick back and just play video games, whether it's an NFL or WWE wrestling or some kind of a violent game? Us guys, we don't have discretion of when it comes to what kind of games we like to play with. We just play games, whether it's stupid, whether it makes sense. It doesn't really matter. Like I said, when you had a couple of drinks, any game is good. So you make sure you got to have some kind of a gaming console. And I'm even cool with like Nintendo. I don't need to have PS4 or, Xbox, whatever. The Xbox One, I think, is the newest one or whatever it's called. I'm good with Nintendo. I mean, I can play hours and hours of Duck Hunt and be entertained. And I know a lot of my friends can do the same. So some of those retro old school games are awesome. Now, number 4 on my list. This may not be obvious, but for every guy out there who just wants to, get a little bit of rest and, they just want to disconnect from the world, you want to build maybe some kind of a secret room. And here's what I mean by that. If you build a bookcase and you open the bookcase, behind that you got a little bed where you can just chill, you can read a book, you can relax, you can do whatever you want, and just disconnect from the world pretty much. It's a vacation in your home. So I think it's an awesome idea. I'm actually considering it. I don't know if it's going to be really that possible now that I'm publicizing it and I call it a secret room and my wife does listen to this podcast. But ultimately, I'm going to build something, whether it's a secret room or some kind of a room that I can just go into and just relax, wind down, not worry about anything. I have 2 beautiful children. I love them both. And I love spending 99% of my time with them if I could. But that 1%, you just need to sit back and dial back and just spend some me time. And that secret room just could be your me time. And the last thing is, I like to work out. So I want to have some kind of a gym in my man cave, whether it's just a couple of weights, whether it's a treadmill, whether it is something as small as a, one of those little, not a Bowflex, but something similar like a Bowflex gym. So having something similar to that where I can, do some weights, I can do some cardio and get that fine balance between the two. I think those two are very important. I know when I go away with my buddies, when we go to Vegas or when we go to anywhere, pretty much, we like to hit the gym. We like to go, early in the morning, and we like to get in a nice workout. And then after that, enjoy, relax. The drinks become a lot more justifiable. The food that we eat becomes a lot more justifiable. It's probably not the right thing to do, but, you're on vacation. It's okay. So, having that little gym, even if your buddies want to come over and they want to lift a couple of weights and you just sort of, talk and shoot the shit about nothing. Guys like to do that, So having some kind of a gym in your man cave is also, in my opinion, very much essential. Now, it comes really down to space. It's not always practical to have everything. I'm going to talk about a 6th one in a second. And the reason why I'm bringing the 6th one up is because it comes down to practicality. The 6th one really is you want to have some kind of a bar, right? So if you have a bar where you can have some drinks, you can have... it's just a great entertainment area, but a bar is, I'm going to say in 50% of the cases that I've dealt with, they weren't very practical because it takes up so much space that you don't have any entertainment space left. So if you have that extra space, really strongly consider a bar. I think it's a great selling point for a home in general, but at the same time, it provides a great entertainment area. It's not exactly a kitchen, but it provides the function similar to a kitchen. If you don't have space for a bar, that is not a problem. You can always build in some kind of a built-in with cabinets that has a built-in something like a built-in wine cooler or a beer cooler or something like that as a compromise. And if you can't get the plumbing done to get the sink in there, that's not a problem as well. Like I said, if you have some kind of a built-in unit to take care of, you can throw in water in these coolers as well. If you have all of that stuff, you can typically get away with a lot of things. But if you have the space, strongly consider a bar. If you don't have the space, there's alternatives as well. And if you actually Google things like 50 ideas for man caves and stuff like that, they have a lot of cool concepts or alternatives to bar in a man cave They have a lot of cool concepts that they'll show you, and I looked at some of them. And I myself, I'm going to go for a mini bar, like a small bar. It's not going to be anything big, but at the same time, it's going to provide me the ability to entertain properly and just have a good time, right? And that's really what your man cave is about. Remember, when you're building your man cave, you want to try to build something for your family as well, but at the end of the day, it's a man cave. So, guys, tender to some of your needs. If you've really given up the rest of the house to the kids and the family and stuff like that, you deserve a small space for yourself. And that's why don't feel guilty when you're building a man cave. And, I've got 2 small kids. I am going to carpet up the area so they have a little play space around there. But at the end of the day, I'm going to build that bar. I'm going to build that kegger. I'm going to build a whole bunch of other things that are specific to a man cave. And you just got to do that for yourself. Don't feel guilty for doing it. You work hard as well. You deserve some fun as well. If you're one of those guys or girls that provide for your family and you want a man cave, or, I shouldn't say man cave. I should say some kind of a cave, whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't really matter. You deserve that space for yourself. So don't feel guilty for it. Build on it. Have fun with it. Okay, guys? So those are my 5 tips. If you have any questions, shoot me an email at satsandtooltie.com. You can always reach me on Twitter as well at satssegel. Until next time, guys, stay safe, stay productive, and stay happy.